Hey there, everyone. My name is Will, and I got my friend and my roommate, Matthew Benson, here.
Hey, everybody.
And today we're just gonna have a little chat here. So, I guess one of my first questions is like, why did you decide to? For context, me and Matthew are in college. We both go to ISU, and what made you, I guess, want to go to this school versus other ones?
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say thank you for making me an honorary guest of the Willie. Is it the Willie chat?
I think it's gonna be the McNilly chat.
The McNilly chat.
That's the
Okay.
plan. That's the
Willie chat.
working title.
That sounds good.
We'll
though.
go with that.
But thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'm honored to be the first guest, the first of many. But yeah, what made me want to come here? Well, in 2016, so we were in 6th grade, I think it was.
Yeah.
My brother Eric went here, so he decided to go here. And then he was here until 2020. His last 2 months, just short of graduation, were stopped by COVID, so he didn't get like an actual graduation. But he was basically the reason why I wanted to come here. He really liked it here. He would always tell me stories. But yeah, he was like the main reason why I wanted to come here. I still reference him all the time, and it's funny because we're like following in his footsteps, kind of.
Yeah.
He lived 1 unit over from us.
Right.
You know, he went here. He lived at for 1 year. Like, it was just really funny.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, he was the biggest inspiration behind this, though.
That's cool.
But, yeah, we're continuing the legacy of ISU's playground.
I guess my other question is, I know recently you switched your major to law studies, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, legal studies.
Right. Yeah, legal studies. Like, I know that you were originally going into journalism. Like, what made you want to switch?
So basically, that's a great question. So I was only journalism for like 2 months when we came in here last year, and the more, you know, because I had that experience in high school with Beacon, you know, with like filming and editing and broadcasting. I did really enjoy it.
Oh, and just for them, like what? Because there may be some people on here who have no clue what Beacon is.
Oh yeah.
What, if you don't mind like explaining it a little bit.
Yeah, not at all. So the high school where I came from, it was South Elgin High School, up north, and the academy that they had there that I was in, it was called the Beacon Academy. I still have no idea why it was called that.
Yeah.
But, it was basically like filming, editing, and broadcasting, like incorporating all those skills together, and like film analysis too. That was a lot of it. But I mean, it was really enjoyable. Like, you learned how to use like all these Canon cameras, film your own projects, take pictures, edit them together using Adobe Premiere.
That's cool.
Analyze films, and then we would actually do like news broadcasts. You know, like TV news. We would also broadcast sporting events. Which I did a few of those. Those were pretty good. I was never a fan of the news, though. Like, I was the broadcasts we would do.
Oh, okay.
It all depends. I mean, there's so many different jobs.
I remember those were like really good, like our freshman year, and then they kind of fell off after COVID, which I think a lot of things did.
Dude.
I mean, I'm not trying to give anyone crap.
No.
I think it was just COVID happened, and that's just kind of what happened with everything, you know.
Junior year. So, you know, I had Boz. Shout out Thomas Bozikas, Magic Man. He could do some of the craziest magic tricks ever, though. Real talk.
That's what I heard, yeah.
But, like, junior year, we had to do it so many times because people just kept up. Like, excuse my language. But, it was just funny. But
you learned a lot from that, though.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Beacon, great program. I loved Boz. I loved Mr. Erickson, one of my favorite high school. No, he is my favorite high school teacher.
That's good.
Teacher I had senior year, and because my brother, because he went through that program. I've known him for like 10 years.
Oh wow!
You know,
So you
we go way back.
So you knew him before you even went to South Elgin. Okay.
And that goes.
I didn't know that.
Boz too, but
Oh wow! Okay. So they've been working there for a long time.
Yeah, Boz has been there actually longer than. No, Erickson was there longer than Boz was.
Did they like start working there when the school opened?
Erickson did like not long after.
Okay.
Because Eric started 2012 and Erickson was already there. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, tying it all back
Yeah.
to like the major change. Sorry, I just drifted off topic.
No.
But
Fair.
so basically, with that, I came in here and I was like, as a journalism major, trying to use those skills in whichever way I could. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, what am I going to use with this degree? I didn't want to become like a news anchor, which is what a lot of people do. I wouldn't really want to film like on a TV set or a news set or anything, which that would be cool, but I just didn't find how it would suit me. So like 2 months, me and you actually went through major changes at the same time.
Yeah, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, because you went from history ed to music ed then, which you were originally going to do.
Which is kind of crazy because they're like the polar opposites of each other.
Then I still remember, it was like a rainy day, it was October. I met with my advisor. She's like, how are you liking journalism? I'm like, I don't know what I want to do with it. So I switched to creative writing.
Yeah, I think I remember you going through that process.
Yeah, and that, was that a sneeze?
No, it's just cough.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say bless you. But, so, creative writing, like, you could write, like, I've always wanted to be an author and be able to publish my own books. Like, I love writing fiction stories or even a nonfiction story, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But, so I was like, that would be really cool. But then at the same time, I'm like, that probably wouldn't be enough to make a living off of.
Right.
Unless you're like Stephen King or J.K. Rowling or something like that.
Yeah.
The Harry
names.
Potter series, yeah.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? I took law classes in high school with Mr. Thornton.
Okay.
This teacher from our high school, and
we're in a dorm, so there's some weird sounds that go on.
Yes.
Just thought I'd put that part in. So if you hear that in the background, I don't know what that is.
Talking about legal studies. Okay, so I took law classes in high school, and I was like, okay, I really like that. There's a good amount of money in there. There's a lot of good career paths you could do with that, and so I was like, I'll pick up legal studies as a second major. Maybe I'll become. And now I've realized like I want to become possibly an attorney after college.
I remember you saying that.
Go through law school and everything. But I mean, even if not, there's still a lot of different career paths. Like paralegal, which doesn't require those 3 extra years of law school.
Right.
But that's definitely my plan now, and I'm glad I'm sticking with that. Because that's been a great transition. It's worked out a lot. My legal studies and English professors have been super nice. I've had a lot of close connections with them, but
glad to hear that.
No, it's been a great experience.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Yeah.
And then you also are doing creative writing too, right?
Yeah.
On top of that.
Yeah, doing creative writing, and that it's so fun. Like this semester, I'm in a nonfiction creative writing class, so you just write about a lot about like, obviously nonfiction, so stuff that really happened.
Right.
But our professor has allowed us to take that whichever way you can.
That's cool.
And
because you've based it upon like stories in your own life, right? Or can it be like, can it really be anything? Or
it could be anything. Yeah, as long as it's like real. Because if it's not real, then obviously it like
right. You can't
fiction.
have like a dragon in it or something.
But no, I mean you could write about basically anything that it doesn't have to be about you, but it could be about any of your experiences or I mean even those around you.
Huh,
but
interesting. Okay.
Then next semester I'm taking the fiction portion
Okay.
of intermediate creative writing, so that'll be really nice.
So do they have you, like, for creative writing, because I know you started, last year, did they have you, like, go into, like, an intro class to creative writing, and then go into, like, here's the nonfiction and here's the fiction, or how does that work, I
Pretty
guess?
much.
Because I know with, like, my music major at ISU, you get put into a class called Music 100 when you're a freshman. Well, I'm a sophomore, but since I switched my major, I was in Music 100. The first class of it is, like, the intro to, like, theory and musicianship, whereas the second part of it is introduction to music literature, which is, like, your intro to, like, music classes, or music history classes. So I was wondering if you had something similar to that.
Oh, yeah, definitely, and you summed it up perfectly.
Okay.
Is that the class where you, like, watched movies all
Yeah,
the time?
that class is great. Yeah, shout out to Dr. Fredstrom. Great professor. I had him also for Glee here at ISU. Great guy. I'm hoping to do it again.
But, yeah, I mean, like, last spring I took, I think it was English 227, so it was, like, intro to creative writing, and I had, Professor Sweeney for that, which
Okay.
shout out to her. She was really nice. She wrote me a letter of rec too for my tutoring job, which we could go back to that later. But so you basically took that. That was pretty much like your intro to creative writing.
Okay.
It was more poetry based than anything. The structure was a little it was different.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't what I expected, but I mean, obviously when you like write about things, you're gonna have to write about.
Right.
You got to consider all those different
kind of
forms.
see all of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of how my music lit class was like.
Oh yeah.
Was like that. Where we would go through different eras, in one semester, whereas then you get into the other music history classes and you get put into this era and this next era. So.
But that was pretty much it, and then it's like the two like the one next semester and then the one this semester are pretty much like intermediate creative writing. And then I think further down the line there's like advanced creative writing electives, so I don't know what that's gonna look like, but that'll be
so
interesting.
you have to take an elective for interesting. Okay.
Yeah. There's all these like different requirements.
Yeah.
Because I met with my advisor the other day.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah.
That's cool. And then I know that you've started doing tutoring. I know that I find it kind of interesting that you've started doing that. Not because like I don't think you can do it. I mean, you definitely have. You could definitely do it. But I just find it interesting because you're not an education major, and I feel like, I mean, I guess not a lot of the tutors are probably education majors.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure if they are.
That's a good point.
That's
like
kind of a question I guess I have.
No, that's not a dumb question at all. That's actually really good. I mean, it's a good point. Not a lot of like.
Because I would think a lot of like English education majors would be like, oh yeah, I would love to be, writing tutor,
and that,
or etc.
I do know one of them is history ed. I do
Okay.
know that.
Okay.
There are some. I think another one is kinesiology. I guess it all depends. I'm honestly like, I'm unsure about a lot of it. I do know like some of the tutors in terms of like science are like kind of the more math based, like even finance and stuff. I know one of them's like an accounting major.
Okay. So it's kind of
it differs.
Kind of all over the place.
You get a good mix of everything too.
That's cool.
Like anthropology stuff.
Yeah,
so I mean, it definitely varies. But I needed money bad. You knew how broke I was. My savings account was just down to like just an alarming amount of money, and because this past summer, I did not make as much money as I was hoping to. But we came back, and this was, I think it was early February. It was this semester.
Yeah.
I was looking at the job site. Literally, the only one that stuck out to me was like a tutor for writing.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
let's do it.
Shout out to our friend Ben Umdenstock. He was like, and my girlfriend Cece Bell. She was like, "What's the worst that could happen?" They're like, "What's the worst that could happen?"
Yeah, you may as well just apply for it. And
exactly.
See what happens. Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are they gonna do? Say no? Which is fine. But I mean, it's like at least you tried.
It's the worst thing they can say.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a message for a lot of other things too. I mean, if you're unsure about something, just go for it. But I applied for that. Reached out about the application, and then they said, my boss now at the time, super nice. The staff there is tremendous. But she was like, yeah, we'd, love to meet with you, interview, whatever. So we went in for an interview. They got back to me like a few hours later, which was really nice. They said, we'd love to offer you the job. So I did get offered it. And, I was a little rough at the beginning, just like not bad, but just nervous, like anybody will be.
Any job.
And once you start picking up those experiences and stuff, you get better and better.
That's kind of how I was, first time when I was the summer camp counselor last summer. Because I remember the first day, the lead person that was supposed to be there was actually in another country. Ironically enough, they were. So I think they were I'm trying to think of what their major was. I think it was an education major of some kind, but it was like very specific. Huh. Like I think it was on like childhood or middle level. Jeez. Can't say words. Childhood or middle level, education, and they went to another country to they basically lived with a family, I believe, and they taught there. It was pretty cool. It was like a study abroad trip. So that was pretty cool. That was a cool.
Oh, that is for sure.
Like experience they got to do. I hope that I can do something similar to that one day. I would think that'd be really cool to learn how they. I think she was in Germany or some kind of European country. I cannot remember off the top of my head, but anyways, besides that, get off topic. But I remember the first day. I was with a preschool teacher because she couldn't have been there, so that was it was interesting. And then it was hard to get used to at first because I wasn't used to doing that.
Mm-hmm. It's a new experience.
Yeah,
for sure.
So definitely made me realize that I do want to teach.
Yeah. With tutoring, I mean, obviously, like, you get paid to do it, which is very nice, but I mean, it truly has been a great job. I've already committed to next semester too.
That's awesome. Did they sorry to interrupt you, but did they email you and say, hey, we'd love for you to come back next year? Or I think you told me something about that.
So what happens, and I'll get to that in 1 second. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I had one other thing. Oh, just you get paid for it, which is very nice. But I mean, it's been a great experience. Just collaborating with people, and plus, I mean, writing. Obviously, that's part of my major. So I was that would be a great experience. And I mean, tutoring's it's a lot of fun. I do like teaching people, and
that's
my
awesome.
my mom and dad. Shout out to you guys. Not that they'll ever see this video, but they who knows? Maybe they will.
Yeah.
I'll show it to them. But they were hey, if legal studies or creative writing, God forbid, don't work out, you should seriously consider becoming an English teacher or writing teacher or something because tutoring's been such a good soup for it. But
it's not a bad idea.
Honestly, if that, God forbid, if anything fails, education is what I may turn towards.
Yeah.
But anyway, what you were asking about, so it goes hand in hand with the promotion I was offered. So
that's right.
Last week, so each department or each kind of tutoring has a lead tutor. Math, science, writing, which is what I'm a part of.
Sure.
And the lead tutor for us is not coming back next semester. So
they're graduating or.
Yeah, I think because their schedule is so busy, they're not coming back, or they could be graduating.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah,
got it.
But my supervisor is super nice as well. She was "We'd love to, offer you lead tutor and training for next semester." And I was "Oh, it's wonderful, And as long as it doesn't conflict with my schedule, I would love to accept that." And I said that too.
Yeah.
But
that's amazing.
Thank you. But basically. They fill with your question. They sent out we have a Canvas page. That's kind of how we communicate and everything.
Yeah, sure.
Important updates and stuff. And
they
sent out a fall availability form or intent to return. That's what it was. Do you intend to return? Fill
next
this
semester.
out. Yeah, exactly. And fill that out. And then that was. It's everything's a very simple process, which is really nice. It's it's easy to get the hang of. It's effective at the same time.
Yeah.
It's nice, for sure. You keep track of everything, but yeah. Tutoring's been fantastic.
Glad to hear that,
Yeah, thank you.
I guess another thing with that, do they have tutors for, the summer semester? Because I know, ISU has a summer semester.
That's a great question.
Which, I'm taking Teach 210.
Yeah.
Which is just a general education class for education majors.
That's
for
online,
context.
right?
Yeah,
nice.
It's all online. But, I was just wondering, because, the school kind of stays open if you think about it, because I know some of the dormitories, stay open. I think Watterson stays open, for instance. So I was wondering, because I know that they sometimes have RAs, stay the summer in the dorms. So, but, yeah. So.
But, that's a good question. I do not know the answer to that. That's a great question.
Okay.
I actually don't know. I have no answer.
I'd be curious because I wonder.
But have you ever you've used tutoring before, right?
Yeah, I did use at the Visor
For
Center.
bio, right?
Yeah, because Bio 101 was not a fun class for me.
It's
that was
definitely
hard.
Oh yeah, biology and chemistry.
That's
Hell,
why I'm a
I
music major,
cannot do it. Yeah.
But yeah, bio was not my friend, but I got through it. I got a B in the class and everything, so I mean I went from like a C to a B, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, tutoring definitely helped. It was
That's good.
Definitely very helpful, and I think a lot of people don't realize that ISU. I mean, I kind of sound like probably a broken record, but ISU does offer those services, which is nice.
That's a very good point. And I mean, like, to whoever's watching, and this goes for absolutely anybody, tutoring is a fantastic resource that everybody should try to utilize if they need help or just whatever. It's a great, if you just want second opinions on something, it's a great resource that to use. It's free for students. It's just great. And it's interesting, like with the Academia, that's the portal we use.
Okay.
Like you have like a waiting room, so you see like who's waiting and who's like coming in, and you have to sign them in. The Visor Center is really nice too. It's a lot bigger on the inside than it looks. There's like all the tutoring rooms and everything. But no, it's great.
That's good. I'm glad you've been enjoying it.
Yeah, thank you.
And everything like that. Yeah, and also, so not only do you do the writing stuff, but you also do music, too.
Oh yeah.
And kind of like, I guess my question is, I don't think I've ever asked you this. Like, why did you pick up the trumpet?
That's a great question.
Because like, I don't think I've ever asked you that.
No.
Which I'm kind of funny that like putting a camera in front of us is making me want to ask.
I know, right? Yeah, this is your chance to ask me absolutely anything.
So it's just kind of interesting to me that I've never asked you that.
Yeah, but no, that's a great question. And for context, I started playing the trumpet in 5th grade, elementary school. At that time, though, it was like once a week, maybe twice a week. It was very low commitment. I didn't start playing every day until middle school. Elementary school, I didn't take it that seriously. Right. But so it was 5th grade. I don't even know. I remember the process. They were like, oh, if you're interested in music, like, meet here at this time. It was like during the day. There's like 6 of us, I want to say. We went down to the cafeteria. The Teft Middle School band director, shout out Mr. Wyhofen, super nice. He, got like let us like feel some instruments and stuff, and like made us fill out a form like, oh, what's your primary choice? If that like for whatever reason we can't accommodate you, put down a second choice. And my second choice was a saxophone. But second choice was the saxophone. Okay. And then first choice was the trumpet, and thankfully I did get that. I cannot see myself being a saxophone player.
I don't see that.
Cannot see that. It's so weird. But, I mean, when you think about it, we've been playing trumpet for almost, 10 years now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play trumpet anymore. But
playing musical instruments.
I used to, I guess. Yeah. But, no, I mean,
sure,
though. It was kind of similar to how, I remember, mine was kind of similar to that, except I remember me and my friend, back in elementary school, we were, same thing, ours was just in the gym. And it was, I forgot what middle school teachers were there, but it's kind of interesting that you bring up, like, how it was, because it was the same process, which makes sense, because we went to school district U46, so it was all the same. But I remember me and my friend both really wanted to play piano, because actually used to be a piano player, and then I stopped playing piano, and then I got here, and I realized that I can't play the piano anymore.
I did not know you used to play the piano.
Yeah, when I was old, I used to be able to play the piano.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I lost that. I wish I would have kept going with that, or but whatever. Hindsight's 20/20, right? So, but at least now I have an opportunity to learn it now in college, which is pretty cool with the piano classes. But, it was kind of the same thing. But me and my friend were like, oh, like, we want to do piano. Like, that'd be so cool. But they didn't offer that, And so what happened was that I went to the band side and he went to the orchestra side. He started playing violin. I started playing trumpet. Because I think I literally went up to the trumpet. And I was like, all right, I'm going to play this. Like, I didn't even put that on second choice. I was just like, the trumpet. And so I started playing trumpet, and yeah.
That's funny.
So
it's like that one story. Remember the kid from Teft I told you about? And he wanted to play guitar.
That's right.
Teacher asked him, like, what do you play? He's like, I play guitar. And then he was like, we don't do that. He's like, oh!
That's right.
You, like, yelled.
That's so real, though. I remember we did a... we did a jazz band, like, in middle school. I don't know if your middle school did that, but...
No, we actually didn't.
My band director at the time, Mr. Rivera, shout out. I don't think he works at Eastview anymore, but he used to. And I remember we would have jazz band. It would be before school, and I remember being early, in the morning. We would have jazz band. It was fun. But I remember we would have. I mean, not saying that no instrument can be a jazz instrument. I think that any instrument can be a jazz instrument after hearing jazz horn.
Mm-hmm.
After hearing a French horn play jazz, I think anything can be jazz. But feel free to disagree with me. But I remember we had just 5 or 10 clarinets, 5 or 10 flutes. It wasn't really a jazz band anymore. It was like a concert band that played swing music.
Yeah,
is what
exactly.
it felt like. But I remember that was fun. It was cool. I remember playing trumpet. I remember having a good time with that. So
yeah.
But
I do have to give a lot of credit to my parents, specifically my mom, because I feel like she's just, she convinced me to get involved with a lot of things,
Okay.
and my dad definitely did too, but,
That's
going back
cool.
to my brother Eric from before, he played orchestra,
That's right.
late
yeah.
elementary school and middle school, so he played for about 4 years, I think. He didn't continue in high school.
That's right. I remember you telling me that.
So he did the music, and, he enjoyed it, and my mom was like, maybe you should look into that.
Try it out.
Yeah, and that is such a blur though. I don't even remember how it got to band, how it got to trumpet, whatever. But
yeah.
I mean, it's music has always been a big part of my life. And freshman year, is it okay if I tell the story of?
Yeah,
basically.
I don't care.
So I went. We went to South Elgin High School, and like I said earlier, that's not my home school. It was his home school.
Yeah.
You knew some people going in because you went to middle school.
That was weird though, because for context, I lived 20 minutes from the school, and then the closer school was Bartlett High School. So I lived.
Boundaries are so weird.
Yeah, I actually lived in, but I went to South Elgin, so that was weird because I lived, 10 minutes from school, and then
it was like Jalen too.
Yeah, like our friend Jalen. Yeah, he lived. Super close to school, but he went to South Elgin like me, but it worked out. So.
But, so we were at band camp freshman year. Didn't know very many. Hell, I hardly knew anybody. I knew a few people. And then it was Will held the door for me at one point, and then I was like, "Oh, thank you," and he's like, "Oh, of course." And then we just started talking, and now we're you're the best friend I have here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You too,
of course.
Bro. I don't even remember though, because I remember holding the door for you. I can remember, because I remember the hallway there going into the, because you remember there's the hallway with the fishbowl in the practice room. That's what we called our. We had this room that was originally it was originally for an office, but for whatever reason it became a practice room and a library room. It had the band music, the orchestra music. I think choral music was in there too. But. Yeah, I remember that though, holding the door, but I don't remember though after that.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know why I don't remember that, but
we just started talking.
Yeah,
and
that's funny.
I mean, just started from there. But
it's just crazy.
The rest is history.
Yeah,
but I remember you were wearing your Hokas. Remember the shoes?
Oh my
the
god,
blue Hokas you used to wear all the time.
I still have a pair of black ones from freshman year. If you can believe that. Remember when? We had this great band director. Name was Kurt. He's a great guy. He did not require us to have marching shoes. Our freshman year.
Yeah.
It was fun, but it was funny because there were some people that did not wear black shoes, even though they required us to. So I had these black Hokas, and I still have them. I don't wear them.
Yeah, I bought these cheap black Nikes for him.
Yeah, but it was funny because some people, like our friend Jalen, who wore
White Air
who wore
Forces.
white Air Forces to the first game.
Just like I'm wearing
yeah,
right
like
now.
these.
Yeah.
And Mr. Davick went to him and started. What, he had black duct tape and started duct taping them?
It was the day of the game. It was homecoming.
Yeah, it was homecoming. That's right.
And
yes.
he,
I think he specifically said in class, like, guys, wear black shoes.
Oh,
right.
And Jalen shows up in white shoes. He still marched.
Yeah.
He, Mr. Davick, he ran out of duct tape. He, duct taped, one shoe. So he had, one black shoe and then the white Air Force.
Oh, it was so funny.
It was... Dude, that game was pouring, too, remember?
It was cold, wasn't it, too?
Yeah, it was wet.
It was,
we did
30
a Disney
degrees.
show.
That was fun.
That was the only high school year where we did, our own, homecoming show. That was a great show.
That was cool. That was fun.
It was.
Yeah, I remember high school. High school band was fun.
Yeah, Mr. Davick was a great director.
Yeah.
And then also, you were, labeled as the best marcher ever.
Oh, God, that was a whole... That was so goofy.
He had a boot, and for somehow he was, the best marcher.
Yeah.
Mr. Davick would not... he would
let
not
up.
stop,
he would
praising
not,
you.
He would not let up. That was... Yeah, that was crazy. I remember that now. He was a good guy.
Yeah, he is. That was
my
funny.
God.
Dude, we'll have to do another episode sometime of all the high school rabbit hole lore.
Yeah, no, seriously.
But,
yeah.
I mean, music... Going back to music, it's been such a big part of my life. And
Yeah.
Yours definitely, too. But, mine, concert band. I've been doing U-band this semester, university band, once a week concert band.
Yeah.
Doing it next semester. I've done pep band a few times, which high school pep band I was not a fan of.
Yeah, I don't know. I hear mixed things from other people. I think it depends on where you went to school.
Yeah.
I remember I did pep band. I've been doing pep band since middle school.
Wow.
So it's always
we
been...
did not do that in high school.
I mean,
we
even marched in middle school because
yeah.
we went to Six Flags. So, I mean, we did... I've known how to march since 7th grade.
My band did, too. I did not go on trips, though.
Okay.
But,
yeah, because you're not a huge roller coaster
no,
person.
Fun fact about me,
yeah.
I'm petrified of roller coasters.
That's fair.
So scared.
But don't you get
roller
motion
coasters.
sickness on them too?
No, I actually don't.
Oh.
I just I'm just so scared of them.
I love to put you on one.
I love water slides. We'll go to a water park.
Okay.
I love the big water slides and everything, but
yeah, those are fun.
Roller coasters,
Those tube ones.
I can't do them.
I remember driving back here. Sorry, it's off time. I remember driving back here one day, just recently. I think it was just the last weekend I went home. I was driving back and I actually passed by Raging Waves, if you know where that is.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of funny
in
Yorkville.
Yeah.
But it's funny, as a kid, it felt so far away. I'm like, wait, this is only 45 minutes away.
That was
wow.
the same with Starved Rock too. I mean, Starved Rock's only a half hour from us. Maybe a little farther.
Yeah.
45 minutes, but
it's
on the way back home. It's
Starved
like
Rock
39.
Yeah, Starved Rock is cool.
Yeah. Guys, go
anyways, back to music. Sorry. So, did you have anyone else besides Eric? Did you have anyone else that played an instrument? Whether that be a band, instrument, orchestra, or guitar?
before I started?
Yeah.
Oh God.
If you knew anyone.
No, I did know my mom was actually in choir in high school. She was a singer.
Yeah, that counts. Yeah, of course.
Makes sense. Anytime there's any song on the radio, she's got to sing her heart out to it. But
yeah, that's how my grandma is, because she was in choir too.
She was she was in choir. My dad, no, he did not play anything. No, he did not.
Okay.
Did not play anything. Eric did play the guitar.
That's right. Doesn't he still?
Yeah, he still plays it. He actually has an electric one, and he has the acoustic one, which he's had for a long time.
That's cool.
Well, I'll hear a funny story about it.
Okay.
So he got pissed when he was learning the guitar. The guitar, which is from our grandma, it came with this Randy Jackson CD of how to learn or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Well, he came upstairs one time. He was all pissed off about the guitar.
Okay.
I don't remember why, but he was like, I'm done. And he was like, watch this, and he grabs scissors. He goes downstairs. He's holding the CD. He chops the thing in half, and then he's like, I did the right thing, and then there's a video of me telling the whole thing to my grandma. I was being such a snitch, but because she gave the thing to him.
What the heck?
But yeah, Eric was like, he was so pissed about it. He cut the Randy Jackson CD in half.
I thought the story was gonna go where he like cut the guitar strings
No,
or something.
no.
And that would have not been fun because then you got to restring the guitar.
No, he was not that bad. He cut the Randy Jackson CD.
Right.
I don't even know. Remember? Okay, Music and Arts. Like when the music company that like provided the instruments or players or whatever.
Yes.
The first the trumpet. They gave us like a folder and there's like a CD in there with like techniques. I never listened to it.
Is it the Measure and Success book you're talking about?
It might be.
Okay, because we had those, the Measures of Success, we never used. I think they had us use the CDs. Funny enough, in ours, I think
we never.
I remember them. I remember listening to them, but I mean that was. I mean that was 2016, 2015. I mean we were kids. So that was still kind of before that stuff was available. I mean it was available online, but I think people were still using a lot more CDs still. I mean I think that's really coming back now though. I mean I've noticed like off topic again, but I've noticed YouTube videos about like how specifically our generation really likes physical media, which is kind of true because I mean I love my CDs I have.
Oh, I love CDs
I mean I have
too,
like
yeah.
what,
and,
50 now maybe.
I love movies.
I love
The
Sopranos.
Sopranos.
But yeah, I mean I have a ton of DVDs too, and I mean Blu-rays. I love that stuff.
Man, I do too. Fun fact about me, and I mean Will likes it a lot too. But The Sopranos, best TV show ever. It's my favorite show. I mean, all of our friends know that too. They know I'm obsessed with it. But no, I mean definitely. Like CDs. I used to listen to CDs all the time, like Metallica. Metallica's my favorite band, but
is that what maybe inspired you too? I mean, obviously they don't play trumpet, but is that kind of maybe why you wanted to go into music? But
go at least music. Become more involved with it.
Hobby.
That's a good question. Honestly, no. Like I don't even think so. Just because I mean, obviously they don't play trumpet, but
right.
I mean, like now looking back at it, like I could definitely draw conclusions from Metallica. Like, I mean, when you're a music like student, or when when you play music, it becomes such a frequent part of your life. You appreciate it more. You definitely pick up on things that you wouldn't have picked up on.
That's
before. True. And I mean that could apply to all kinds of different music. You know? And I agree, but like they honestly didn't inspire me. I still love them, but no, I don't think they did. I honestly like. I don't know who the hell inspired me. It's a good question, but
that's cool though.
Getting thirsty too.
I know. I was like, I was sitting there like, man, I've been talking for a while now. So yeah, I know that trumpet is something you do, and obviously you play trumpet in Berm, or the Big Red Marching Machine.
Oh, yeah.
So I know that you really like that. But I don't know. I don't know. I guess my question is to you, like, were you? This is gonna be maybe random, but like, I know you do Berm here. Like, I know that originally though, I remember we were going here, and you were almost not going to do it.
Yeah.
And then I remember convincing you, like, hey, you should do it. Like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Because for backstory, Matthew almost went to Iowa, University of Iowa, because that was like your dream school.
It was ISU was my first choice.
Okay,
but
so
Iowa was beautiful.
But you liked Iowa too.
Yeah,
I mean, I shouldn't
definitely
say dream school,
but it was up. Like I definitely.
But up in your choices,
yeah.
So I know that he thought about going there, but it was too expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
No
and
scholarships.
It was
out of state could be a pain.
Right, and so then he decided to go to ISU, which was great for me because I already was gonna go to ISU.
You committed before.
I basically chose, like, I was like, all right. I basically went. I remember me and my dad went on a Route 66 trip through Illinois.
Oh, I remember that.
We went to ISU as well as a University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign.
Boom!
I didn't like the school. So it was just too big for me. And then I actually went up here, and I remember we actually drove kind of past the dorms known as Tri Towers. and we went past
Paradise.
there. Yeah, went past there, and also the basketball arena. And I remember it was weird because it was like, it's very, because the way we came in, it was like kind of the back way into ISU, because we were by the athletic area, like where the football stadium is, and all that. So I remember we went through like the neighborhoods at first, and I was like, this is weird. Like, where's the school? Because school is much smaller than obviously U of I is. But yeah, I remember just driving past it, and I was like, I can walk everywhere here. Like, this is where I want to go, So that's kind of what sold it for me. Also, I know that I probably wouldn't have gotten into the marching alumni. That's okay. Yeah. They're just a really good band. And I knew here was non-audition. I'm not saying Berm is a bad marching band by any means. I would say for a non-audition marching band, we sound pretty good.
We're pretty damn good. Yeah.
So I love it. I think it just has a good vibe to it. Everyone there wants to just have fun. It's not so serious. I think as an organization we know how to be serious and like when to be serious and when to not be.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's really something cool about. Yeah, I think that it's cool that you decided to do it though.
Yeah, and
because I think it would have sucked because I think it's a pretty big part of our lives now.
Oh my God!
I think our whole friend group we all met them in
absolutely
Bern.
Like all of our close friends and our two really good friends who we're rooming with next semester in an apartment. Like we met them through marching band. Everybody pretty much, but yeah, you definitely convinced me. So shout out to Will. But my mom was also the biggest because after high school. I mean, high school we went to, people did not care. It was like you had to do it if you wanted to be in band.
Right.
So people were just not motivated.
And no disrespect to South Elgin by any means. But the school is I don't know who's going to be watching this video, but I just know that typically a non-competitive marching band, because if you didn't know, a lot of high school marching bands have competitive programs where they go to competitions. ISU hosts one, but our school we went to was not a competitive marching band, so it was just more of a community band, which I think was kind of cool in some ways. I think when I got here, I was like, oh man, it'd be cool if we were in a competitive high school marching band. But at the same time, though, I feel like I enjoy Berm that much more.
Oh yeah, because you get bits of both.
I think like when I know a lot of people when they come to college, and they went to a super competitive high school program, like for instance, Morton, which is down the street from us, which is in Peoria.
Oh yeah,
near Peoria. Sorry, really really great band program there. I think they've won ISMBC, which is our marching band, competition that we host, like almost last couple of years. I think I'm not sure, but really good marching band program. But I feel like as much as a lot of those people enjoy it, they come here and they join the Big Red Marching Machine, which is not a competitive marching band. I mean, really, we play at just more community events. We play at football games. We do parades. Just recently, we went on an Ireland trip, which was really cool.
I said we couldn't go.
Yeah, unfortunately, but
saw all the
we all wanted him there. But he was there in spirit. I'll say that.
Thank you.
But we did that. It was cool. But anyways, I think it makes us want to stay in it more because we're like, oh, this is like so cool. Like, there's 400 of us and it's for fun and we're just performing for a crowd. Whereas I think the people who do the competitive aspect want that competition.
Yeah. And
that's just not a thing. I know that Berm used to a couple years ago, I think 10, 15 years ago.
Oh wow.
I could be totally wrong about this, but there's a band, I know there was a division of Bands of America.
Oh yeah, kind of like DCI kind of.
Kind of, yeah, but just for college marching bands, and ISU was in it. That was 2010. So,
wow.
A while ago. So I think they did a Bruno Mars show. It actually goes pretty hard. I have to show it to you sometime. It actually goes pretty hard.
I think I've heard of it before. I'm not sure.
It goes hard, but they did one, I think, but yeah. Anyways, I just think it's kind of cool that like, not only are you like law studies or legal studies. I keep calling it law studies. I don't know why.
Same thing, pretty much.
Yeah, and then creative writing, but you also do like other things too. Like you do pep band here, you do the marching band, and then you do university band as well. So I think it's cool that like you do those other things.
Oh yeah.
So.
And I mean, like going back to like the marching band we were talking about. Like you definitely convinced me. It was actually your idea to want to room together.
Yeah.
So, I was because my brother when he was here, he just went random.
Right.
Like, he just came in here not knowing his roommate or whatever, and they got along. He had a really good roommate, thankfully.
That's good. Yeah.
His name is Kevin. But,
shout out to Kevin.
Yeah, shout out to Kevin. I don't remember his last name.
Yeah.
But, he was always nice to me.
That's good.
Yeah, I was just going to go random. I was like, oh, I'll just do what you did, because, I didn't know any different. But Will was like, why don't we room together? I was like, oh, that would actually be, great, because, and honestly, like, as good of friends as we were in high school, like, we would hang out and stuff, but nowhere near
we
what
definitely
we are
got
now.
closer.
Oh, absolutely.
Here, I mean, makes sense.
It's crazy.
My bed's right there, and his bed's right here. So, right. So
yeah, those late night conversations, just hitting the ceiling, laughing.
Oh my god,
those are funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and I'm so glad we've done that too.
Yeah.
But I was like, during high school, I was like, I do not want to do college marching band. If it's going to be like this.
Yeah, because oh my god, I remember you before band camp.
Oh,
high school, you like dreaded every day.
Oh, I hated it. I absolutely hated it.
Because we had to wake up. Because I was early. Then I remember though, it was, oh my god, was it April or May of our senior year? The band, Dr. Wood, who's the director of the marching band here, he also directs the Symphonic Winds concert band. He sent out a newsletter about like the marching band, and I remember he put on there the schedule for the band camp, and I knew going in, like, okay, this college marching band is a little different. I remember watching videos of Berm before I got here, because that was actually one of the selling points for me was because originally, as Matthew mentioned earlier, I went into history education originally, but as we know now, I'm now music education. But I originally was history education, and one of the big things for me was the marching band, like, and so then I remember watching videos of Berm, and I'm like, oh, it looks pretty fun, Yeah.
And
I was like, it'd be kind of cool to, like, try this out for a year, see if I like it,
Yeah.
And sure enough, like, I remember us getting the schedule, and it was like, wasn't like the first day, like, 7 in the morning?
Oh, dude.
It was hard, because the thing is, how it works here, which is fine, it makes sense that it's done this way, but the night before, we move in to the dorm, and we basically say bye to our families, like, right away.
Yeah, we had to rush, like,
it was
we didn't
weird.
even get time to really unpack anything. Everything down.
Yeah,
just
because
like, okay, bye. And it was raining too.
Yeah, I remember that, because it was our freshman year. It was we got here kind of late. I remember that.
Yeah, because it was like 3-something.
Yeah, and we had to be there by 4 or 5. I don't remember what time exactly, but we had to be there, early, and we're like, well, damn, we gotta get going. So, and it was hard because it was like, this is the first time, obviously, me and you have been away from home, for an extended, period of time,
Yeah.
So it was hard at first, but obviously we got used to it. But yeah, I just remember the first night we like I remember us being so tired, and then us having to wake up 6 in the morning or 5, and that first day was hard.
It was.
But and it was funny getting to know everyone.
It was.
We didn't know anyone. We knew some people. You knew.
I knew 2 people from my preview group
Right.
who were also doing marching band. One of them's actually still a really good friend of ours, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Luke. But no, I mean, like, and me and Will, I would label both of us as very social people. So I mean, we have no problem making friends.
And that's a great thing too. Is if there's anyone who's watching this that's going to school as an incoming freshman or yada yada. And if you're in music too, I guess. If there's a way that if you're thinking, oh yeah, I really don't want to do like anything with music after. I think you should really think about it. I mean, a lot of these schools, at least ISU. I know this is like a big advertisement for ISU, but ISU has a non-audition concert band, a non-audition pep band, and a non-audition marching band. So there's a lot of choice there, as to like if like you want to try it out for a semester.
Yeah, whether that's a good or bad thing.
Yeah, I mean it's up to you. I mean if you don't like it, you don't like it.
No, yeah.
But definitely something to try out, and I would definitely recommend it. Faculty here are great.
Definitely. Dr. Wood does a wonderful job of directing the marching band here, and he does some concert bands too. And then Professor Mack, does a great job too. Yeah. They're both super nice. The staff is tremendous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a fun time. But anyway. What was I gonna say? But my mom was like, reference. My mom. I always make her, like, talk like this, like, you're gonna do it! That's what she said about marching band. Mom, if you're watching this video, I apologize, but she's very Italian, she's very passionate about what she says, very animated. But she was like, you're gonna do it! And, you're like, oh, you should do it. And thankfully, the contrast.
I was the calmer one.
Yeah.
I was the good cop, she was the bad cop.
But, no, I mean... Like, I'm so glad that I did do marching band, because, I mean, I wouldn't have met friends. Would me and you even be that close?
I don't know. I mean, because,
that's scary. The what-ifs are so scary to think about.
Well, because, what if, like, because, I mean, we could have still roomed together, but you could have been like, I'm not going to do Burm. And I feel like, I don't know. I don't know how it would be.
Yeah. It would have been... different for sure. And I'm thankfully that, luckily me and Will have had we have like similar interests, similar.
Oh, for sure.
We've had similar like paths, I guess you could say. But I mean, like it's definitely helped. I mean, you are like a brother to me.
Well, I appreciate that.
For context too, he's an only child, so I mean he never. Sorry.
No, it's true.
I mean like he never got to have a brother or.
Shout out to my step siblings. Jack and Belle, but they didn't. They would come over on the weekends, of course, but they didn't really like live with us full time. So, obviously, I got to know them though and everything. But like, I never really had like a sibling that would always live at the house. So it was always very interesting as I was always growing up because, it was definitely like. I guess, like, not in a bad way at all, but it was definitely, like, an adjustment to have, like, a roommate. Have someone else in my room. Because definitely. I never had that, sure, I had, like I said, shout out to Jack and Belle, had them around, but they weren't, like, again, they didn't always live with us. They also had their own rooms, and they're also a couple years older than I am.
Yeah.
So, like, they were kind of more doing their own things, just because, like, for instance, when I was in elementary school, Jack was like in middle school, Belle was in high school at the time. Mm-hmm. They were doing their own things, which was totally fine, But it was definitely an adjustment to get used to like living with someone, That was definitely like, I mean, you've been an amazing roommate, so
Thank
you don't have to worry about that at all. But
I owe this man so much credit for just like. I mean, college. I like to say college has been the best time of my life, because it has been. It's been tremendous.
I feel like for me, like, I mean, not to talk so much about high school, but high school wasn't like I met a lot of great people in high school. Mm. I had a lot of great experiences, but I definitely did not like a lot of parts of high school.
Me too. There is some parts.
I think college has definitely been. Really a great time of my life. I've met so many great people here. I've gotten closer with you, of course.
Yeah.
And I mean, just like, it's cool to be like actually working on something that's like going towards your career. You know, I'm not saying in high school you weren't doing that, but in high school, you know, you have to take all these classes that, you know, you don't. I mean, I guess you have to do that here at Gen Eds, but you know what I mean, though. Like, you're kind of working towards. All right, now I'm gonna have this job, you know, where I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna do it for a long time. You know, hopefully, you know, but you always can go back, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, you know, college, like, obviously, like, lots and lots of more freedom.
Yeah.
You know, you're, like, more mature. I mean, like, you know, of course there's its things about, you know, being far from home, which for some people that's a good thing, or it could be a bad thing. Like, I mean, I miss my family. But it's a good distance where we go, because we're, like, 2 hours from home, 2.5 hours, so it's not, it's not terrible.
No.
It's a doable day trip.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that was one of the things is I like the location of the school.
Yeah, and I mean, the town, like, Bloomington Normal is a great area. I do really like the area. We have all kinds of restaurants and everything around here. It's really nice.
Yeah, you know, you think of America, I think you can think of our town, because I swear to God, we have a Jewel Osco, you know, and we got a Kroger's.
Target, Schnucks,
I mean,
Walmart,
Schnucks. Like, it's just
Hy-Vee.
I think we have
Meyer.
I think we have 2 Jewels in both. You know, we have one in the Bloomington side and one in the Normal side. And I think we also have 2 Schnucks and 2.
Yeah, we do have 2 Schnucks.
And we have 2 Krogers, I think, too.
Yeah, we
and
got an Aldi.
And then we have another one, don't we? Not just Schnucks.
There's Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee, yeah. It's just like, it's so random. I've never been to a place where, because I've seen Schnucks in, like, I think they're typically in the South, like Kroger. I know I've seen Krogers in the South.
They might be.
I could be totally wrong.
My dad knew what Schnucks was. Like, I don't know if it was down by his school. He went to college, like, St. Louis area.
Yeah, I think they're in the South, because I've seen a lot of them there, and then a lot of the Hy-Vees I've seen in, like, Iowa. I know that they're big there. I know, like, there's one by Augustana. So I know they're bigger up there. Quad Cities. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy to me, because it's, like, such a random off-topic thing, but, like, it's just, I've never seen in a town having basically the same grocery stores, and also like Hy-Vee is such an interesting grocery store to me, because it's got a Great Clips in there and a Smash Burger.
Wait, what?
Yeah, did I tell you about that?
The one around here?
Yeah.
Since when?
You can get your groceries, you can get your haircut, and you can get lunch.
You know, but anyway, sorry, you can tell I'm very passionate about haircuts. But anyway, no, I mean, I did not know that. Speaking of that, Iowa 80, the truck stop.
Yeah,
biggest truck stop in the world. There's a haircut, a movie theater, like restaurants.
What?
Dude, it is huge. Like it's for
there's a
for
movie
truckers.
Theater there.
Yeah, there's a movie theater. There's a like a barber shop. All kinds of restaurants. You know, they have like the showers at truck stops for like truckers and stuff.
Yeah.
No, they have a ton of stuff there.
Wait, do they like have showers in the gas station?
Yeah.
Kind of thing? Okay.
A lot of gas stations do that, like Love's. You know, like those Love's do that. Like you go to the desk, you ask, like, can I have a shower? You know, they charge you like a small fee for it. But I mean, they're nice.
It's kind of funny because in Ireland, that was a big thing. I remember, I think every, I guess I don't know if they call it petrol there. Well, gas stations, because we're Americans. Every gas station would stop at, they were pretty big. Like they had restaurants in there. I remember the bathrooms, though, they had showers in there.
Yeah.
It was like a big thing, which I mean, I guess I never thought about it, you know?
Yeah, and the ones that are at these, at least that I'm familiar with, like, I've never used one.
Sure.
But, just, like, looking at, stuff online or whatever, they're like, their own, like, individual rooms, too.
Oh, okay.
Which is pretty nice. Like, they're not actually, like, in the bathroom. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, we get flamed in the comments of this video. But you're canceled. But yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of unknowns about stuff, but like Iowa 80 is really cool. It's like everything's like upstairs. You have like your snacks and everything in the food court. But then you go upstairs and there's like a barbershop, all that other stuff. It's really, really cool.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been there. I've always wanted to go.
Biggest truck stop in the world. It's called. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's really cool. But Yeah. Right. Did you have any other questions?
I think we're getting close to the hour, so I think I'm gonna end it here.
Alright,
So
perfect. Well, do you
thanks
wanna
again for
say-
having. Thanks again for coming
Yeah.
on.
Oh, thank you so
I
much again for
appreciate
having me.
it,
Thank you for being a great host.
Of course.
I'd love to be on this again.
Yeah. Well,
hopefully this
probably.
hopefully this a lot of views.
Yeah.
Good feedback.
Well, thank you.
Would love to hear you guys. Your guys' thoughts on the video or whatever. But no, I mean, thank you. Was there anything that you want to talk about? Anything that you wanted to?
No, I think that's kind of it. I'm glad
Okay.
I got to do this, and
Yeah, I'm very glad.
thank you all for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next video I release. I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be something.
Well, I'd love to make a comeback sometime.